Can someone out there please explain how any of this is possible? Last time I talked to all of you guys, I think I put a semi-curse on Liquid, which they are now reverse cursing, so I'm going to take some credit for all of this. We're seeing things from North America that, of course, we're seeing once one of the players is leaving to depart to a different team. Last time I saw all of you guys, we talked about Team Liquid versus Tyloo. The match had not started yet, and I was expecting a Liquid elimination from Fisher too. I think a lot of people would have been leaning that direction, especially after their start, going 0-2, one of their victories being heroic. We had not seen much from this team, and by all reports out there, it was a pretty poor mood around this lineup. They then take down Tyloo, and what is set for a story mode here at Fisher, it was going to be Team Liquid versus FaZe. Winner moves on, and the loser goes home. Of course, right? Giving Liquid the opportunity to go from 0-2 to 3-2. And again, I wasn't expecting too much. It could be a close matchup. I certainly was expecting it to be a bit of a back and forth, given the state of both of these teams. But Team Liquid, it wasn't even close. Team Liquid take down FaZe, and I don't even know what's going on anymore. All of this around the same time where Liquid are still trying to fight for major invite contention, and this has been crucial points. And again, all of this starting with a really rough loss to Gamer Legion. They got destroyed. Twist had a deleted tweet saying it was complete destruction, and then they turn all of this around, and what looks like FaZe should be still making the major, and now Team Liquid will too. It's crazy. I mean, I did not see this one coming. It does make me a little happy. Also makes me a little sad that Twist has to go out on a home run like this. And again, it's not an amazing run yet, but it's enough of a run where Team Liquid should be making that major. And now we get to see NAF smile, which always makes me smile.
This is looking way too strong. They try and be a little bit more aggressive towards middle. 5 big booms once again. Big Justice will be proud.
He's made NAF laugh. I've never seen that before. I don't think
His nerds kept doing the boom, 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 and I was like, dang, on Kick, I can't figure out how to even download clips. So I'm over here on Twitch finding clips that aren't even in English, which I know you guys don't like, and I apologize. Last time there was a Fissure event, I had the same issue. You know, it's just difficult when things are on Kick for me sometimes. I will figure it out as we go.
На арене, но с такой игрой недоступно. Пока выучите 10 раундов.
А ультимейт, возможно, достоин. Один в один.
Смотри, этот парень берет.
Ну, шансов у него побольше явно, чем у Джейкоба, у которого нет инфы, на ультимейте играет время, и он, кстати, пойдет на банан. Кстати, есть молик, на который он может сыграть. Ну нет, остался пока в дефолте, распикивает по...
У нас польское дерби, польское дерби.
Да, кто сильнее, ультимейт или Джейкоб? Молик откидывает в сторону темно, не дает выйти. Ультимейт пока переигрывает чисто на ютилити. Времени остается меньше и меньше. Вот они киты нам показывают. После дефолта ультимейт! 10-й раунд для команд.
Ждал, что Света у нас 2 игрока выйдут.
Опа, а Твистер смог может выйти? А, он сел в домовую завесу. Рейн уперся.
Ой-ой-ой.
Он не понял! Начинает стрелять, но вот тот был на контроле, тот был в Тристеде.
Это интересная ситуация. Да, просто...
But we saw some great moments from a lot of the Liquid guys. I think Ultimate had a 1v2 in there. Twist played very, very well, which again, this turnaround from them is just so odd. But it is also against a FaZe who has had a rough run, and I wouldn't say have had much success in a while, and have still been changing the roster. And again, when you look at a roster like FaZe, we don't know who's being replaced. So we look at Liquid and we're like, oh, their mood has to be shattered. But so too does FaZe. And that's why this Liquid run, albeit is impressive, is also not that surprising. And again, I curse them. Like the moment I said Liquid were going to lose, I should have known that they were like, screw you, Jake. We're going to win and actually do something. And thanks to Mischief as well over on Twitter, he was doing the VRS point / invite predictions over there. And this was actually before Liquid beat FaZe. They had a 60+% chance to make the major. That will now vastly improve after beating a team like FaZe. So dare I say it, knock on some good old cheap wood over here. It seems like Liquid have now managed to make the major. So a great last song from Twist, and we'll see how they complete this run. I don't know if I expect too much out of the rest of this Fissure event. I think it's been a great run from Liquid so far. I might as well continue the curse and say that the competition is going to be a lot more stiff the rest of the run if they have much left in them. But either way, they have succeeded, right? This is a big W for them. Liquid and FaZe should both be at the major, and they will both have different rosters. Anyway, the way I was going to start out this episode is we're on a Blade montage, by the way. I'm really liking this guy. I actually watched the full video put out by NAVI where he talked about a lot of things throughout this, but one in particular people were drawing on is why he never invited S1mple back to that NAVI roster, and the way he explains how S1mple can only play with particular players. He is a hard guy to play with, and you need the right set of players around a guy like S1mple to actually be able to fully reach their capabilities. It takes particular players to play with someone as particular as S1mple, and I like the way he worded that. And maybe this is why it was never going to be S1mple back on NAVI.
There were lots of questions also. Why didn't you give another chance to S1mple? Was it also because of this environment?
With S1mple we played with this lineup already. And when he left the team, we kind of had a conclusion, something like, it's hard for these players who we had to play with S1mple. There is a lot of pressure on them, and constantly, they are not from this background. Like, I think a lot of CIS players can play like this, with this pressure. Even FaZe said about this. It's S1mple is the player who demands a lot. He's like kind of pushing you to the limits. Mm-hmm. And some players can play under these conditions, and we played. We even like won a lot of tournaments in 21. We were like we were the best team in the world.
Yes.
And but eventually, when we switched to international lineup, we saw that teams with players are not ready for this. They never worked and played before in this environment, so it's hard for them to activate all their best parts. Like I said before, like creativity, decision making, and so on and so on. So a lot of things was hard to do. That's why we thought that, like I said after that to Sasha, that I think these players are not meant to play with him. It's hard for them to play with him.
It's kind of funny because other people were watching this clip and some people were saying, in other words, S1mple can be quite critical of your gameplay, and some players might resonate with that and improve, and others might be demoralized and demotivated by maybe some of his play styles. But it's kind of, it's cool to see these insights and why we're not going to see S1mple back. And he's doing great things on a team like BC Game. A future talking point from me is those suckers got to get on their pay horse, all right? And that's not even a phrase. I just, this brain's not operating, but those suckers got to help that guy out over there if they want to see improvement. So BC Game, fork up the cash. Save the man. And then another news out there that might shock the world, Vitality have now signed Pablo Escobar to the team. This is how you're going to end the winning curse? I mean, I saw this and my first thought was how I'm going to explain this to my mom if she asks about the news. And I was like, yeah, he's back. He's backing at him, trying to live that solid, legit life over in Team Vitality as an analyst. But just seeing that very, very funny story of the day. Pablo Escobar now joining Team Vitality. It's over, folks. They're gonna start winning again. We might as well expect another LAN win streak out of them and good old Escobar. That was a nice little side piece of news for the day. Along with a team like OG Esports, who have now been majority acquired by an NFT group. I think it's the Chili's group out there. Saw that headline and I was like, are we back in 2020, back during like the COVID times where all of these teams were taking these odd investments? So yeah, apparently an NFT group has now acquired a majority stake, that being 51% of OG Esports. I don't think this will involve too much the CS side of things. Hopefully an influx of cash to keep them going. But if your ownership group is selling off such a big stake to an NFT group. Either one, they offered a ridiculous sum of money, or two, there was maybe some financial troubles with OG Esports. That is me making an assumption based on the space. It is still very, very difficult to be in esports unless you have a gambling/betting sponsor or you're taking big investments like this. So hopefully things are all sound under the hood with OG as they continue that steady CS that we've always seen, But yeah, hopefully all things are good, but they have now been acquired by a different group, and we'll see if that impacts the future of their CS team at all. Until next time, thank you all for watching. I'm now going to eat some breakfast, get my brain a-rolling, and I will see you guys back here sometime soon, more CS. If I missed anything, I'm sure I did, okay? It's been a busy week, but next time I see you, I'll compile all the stories into one as Fisher does continue. Who's going to take the tournament? And hope you guys have a good rest of your day, all right? We'll see you back here soon. Take care.